Evening and welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Sahuarita Unified School District Governing Board. Please join us for a Pledge of Allegiance. We can go that way too. Either way. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We'll move on to the roll call. Ms. Palacios.
Governing Board President Sherry Lowe, absent. Governing Board Clerk Denise Reese.
Present.
Governing Board Member Anthony Bruno.
Present.
Governing Board Member Raul Rodriguez, absent. Governing Board Member Dr. John Sparks.
Here.
District Administration Superintendent Dr. Manuel Valenzuela.
Present.
Assistant Superintendent Scott Downs.
Here.
Assistant Superintendent Brett Bonner.
Here.
Assistant Superintendent Darlene Robinson.
Present.
Chief Financial Officer Lisette Huey. Here.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Reese, members of the board and public, I'd recommend approval of the agenda as it was revised at this time.
We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next item of the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Reese and members of the board, you have in your packet draft copies of the minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting of the board back on July 12, 2024, and also the special meeting that was called for July 24th, 2024. And after your review and consideration, I would recommend approval at this time.
We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item of business is ratification of vouchers. Ms. Huey.
Good evening. Tonight I recommend payroll vouchers 25.4, 26, 26.1, and 26.2, number 1, 2, and 3. Next, I recommend expense vouchers 3108 through 3116 and 1003 to 1011. Expense vouchers totaling $3,636,842.70. Next, I recommend new expense vouchers for the new fiscal year, and this will take us from September 4th, 2024 through December 18th, 2024. And those are vouchers number 1018 through 1049 for total expense vouchers of $67,636,842.70. for a grand total of payroll and voucher ratifications of $70,887,401.70.
We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Moving on to superintendent reports. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Reese. This evening, I have just a few points to share with you. We always begin with enrollment. An interesting phenomenon. The net effect is it's green on the bottom yellow square there, which suggests that we are up 83 students in terms of enrollment from the end of the school year. So in other words, in May of 2024, sitting currently at 6,289 students. Of course, that, as we know over the years, that ebbs and flows for the first few weeks until it kind of settles in. But that certainly is encouraging. Just an interesting phenomenon. As you can see, there's a lot of green, but where you see the most red, it seems to be at the elementary levels. And that's a phenomenon that we're seeing not just here, but across the region and beyond. It's just interesting whether it's demographics, shifts, or pandemic-related issues, or perhaps other concerns and topics, but it is kind of a pronounced change from previous patterns. But that is the enrollment. I also would like to remind the board that as we begin the new year, we are beginning the board lunches. And I believe we begin tomorrow for those that are available and able to come at 11 o'clock at Link. So we'll be eating with some of our preschool students over there, and that's always a treat. I'm pleased to report that we are already moving at full pace in regards to honoring the promises to our community in designing and constructing and deploying the projects identified in the school improvement bond package. For a few highlights, you can see there, that looks like a fairly recent picture, so it's probably close to real time. That is the state-of-the-art synthetic turf field at Sahuarita High School. It's coming together very, very nicely, and what people don't know is what's underneath, but if you walk by a lot and you're here in the summer, to see what's underneath there and the technology and the work that goes into it, it's amazing. The shock pad alone is a significant step forward from what we had in 2010 when we did the first one, not to mention the quality of the synthetic turf. So it's a point of community pride, and glad that our student athletes and our fine arts students and all those that use it, PE classes, ROTC, that they'll be able to have that as an asset for our community. There it is. There's one just like it at Walden Grove, and we're looking forward to put it on your calendar, August the 30th, Friday Night Lights, Sahuarita style. It's going to be a beautiful thing. They're doing food, and both schools are doing ribbon cuttings, I think, on different dates, but it's going to be a fun time here in our local community. There's other projects that are also advancing forward. That is our new state-of-the-art camera systems that have been deployed. I believe the project is complete, and at all of our schools to replicate the systems we had before. But I can tell you, this system is a quantum leap in its quality and its capacity, capabilities, and its ability to be a resource for us in risk management and safety. And the last one is the ballistic safety glass product. Sometimes it's kind of sad to think that these kind of products and schools have to go together, but in the reality of the world, this is part of multiple facets that we deploy to do everything possible to minimize risk and keep our students and our staff safe. So that project is it's in its final stages of completion as well. So thanks, Scott, for your leadership, and more to come this year, more deliverables. I know that we have lights, painting, flooring, playground equipment. We've got new buildings at all levels that are going to start moving forward, classroom space, preschool space. We're moving toward a fine arts space. So it's going to be a busy year, isn't it, Mr. Downs? So there's that to share. And let's see, again, just wanted to say thank you to our community for this trust, this investment. We take it seriously, and we're going to do everything we can to honor that promise at the very highest level. And with that, I believe my report is completed. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to governing board reports. Dr. Sparks.
Thank you, Ms. Reese. I just want to say I like it when school year starts and the inbox has been genuinely quiet. and that means ACs are working, buses are moving, people are getting home. Like that's a great thing. I think it sounds like everybody tells me that it's been a remarkably smooth start to the year. That doesn't mean everything's perfect, but that as a whole, things have moved on as expected. Room cooled and bathrooms work and ACs work and buses are here, and I think that's a really great thing. I think that means the year it was ready, and I was on 5 or 6 campuses that first day, and just smooth. It looked amazing. A maintenance group has done a great job at keeping the schools looking great, and I'm just excited for the school year and the fall season to start, which is great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bruno.
I just want to say that now that students are at school, we also need to remember what took place a couple weeks before school started. We had a really amazing back to school program take place over at the gym. A couple hundred students went through. There were about 28 different organizations giving out supplies to those who needed them. Food boxes from the food bank. TEP was here giving out light bulbs and other things, and they had some educational demonstrations up where you could watch electricity flow from point A through a wire system to the lights and how the lights came on, and our youth were really involved in that, and our students, there was a great turnout to that. I had the privilege of touring over at Walden Grove about a week and a half prior to school starting. The janitorial staff was running around like crazy. Teachers were unpacking boxes and all the prep that took place to be ready for your children and the students to arrive. So even though we're glad it started, we're glad that some of that pre-work is over with too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was also on some campuses at the beginning of the school year. I've actually spent quite a bit of time on SHS's campus. I will confirm the air conditioning is working. So I'm just grateful that it's been a relatively smooth start, and that students are getting the assistance they need with schedules through the counseling offices and things like that. It's been a labor of love, but I think we're finally getting towards the end of it, to where everybody's kind of starting to settle in and really tuck in for fall season. So I'm looking forward to the fall season as well. So thank you very much. Moving on, we will go to recognition of staff, students, and community. Letter A, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Reese. One of my favorite parts of board meetings is the commitment of this board to recognizing the shining examples of success in our community, because it helps us to never take for granted and always be grateful for the many blessings we have here. And this program is one of them. One of the things we believe is that there's a special spirit of community here that kind of binds us together in our shared commitment to do good by service to the community. This program, I take very little credit for. I'm grateful for it because it's been around for many, many years. And it's a partnership, but it shows the power of collaboration, the power of finding common ground, the power of collective impact, and how we can do more together than any of us can by ourselves. This is a program where really it's like a three-legged stool. You have the Pima Association of Governments, which is, I think it's PAG, which is a regional organization that provides the funding. You have the town of Sahuarita and Mr. John Garcia, who's here, and he'll talk to us perhaps here shortly. And they manage the project. And then we provide the teacher expertise, our wonderful professional educators in the area of art, and our students. And together we create beautiful art for the public. And every year's project is a little unique, a little different, always beautiful. And so I'd like to call on John, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Poor, and whoever else is here regarding the project to come on down and enlighten us with this year's presentation.
All right, is this my clicker? All right, hey, thank you so much for having us here tonight, members of the board, district admin, we really appreciate. So, hey everybody, my name is Mr. Poor, Joseph Poor, and I am a former teacher at Sahuarita High School, one of the art teachers. And for the past 9 years, I've had the privilege of being involved with the Transportation Art by Youth program in Sahuarita. So this is our presentation of what we got to do this summer. So the project was sort of reduced in size just because of some various fluctuations of budgets and stuff like that. So we were able to hire 6 students, and there were 2 teachers, myself and Miss Danielle Rutherford. We designed, created, and installed tile artwork on a locally manufactured concrete bench from Mikey's Concrete and a concrete waste can. And we designed and painted murals on traffic signal cabinets. The bench and can were placed along a poured concrete pad, approximately halfway along Pima Mines Road's new 1-mile multi-use path. So over by the casino, you'll find the bench and trash can. This one, there's many around town, but the newest one's on Pima Mine. And the traffic signal cabinets were painted at Sahuarita Road and Nogales Highway and Sahuarita Road and La Cañada. So it was the east and west boundaries of the town on Sahuarita Road. So here are the locations. The cabinets are on the southeast corner of Sahuarita and Nogales, and the southwest corner of Sahuarita and La Cañada. And then the bench and trash can are just on Pima Mine on the north side, near the casino, like I said. So this summer we hired the kids. We worked 4-hour days during the month of June. It was only 3 weeks. Again, it was a reduction in the amount of students we hired and also the amount of time we had. So we spent the beginning developing and finalizing artwork designs. So just a few days of just drawing, sending the ideas to town of Sahuarita members who made the decisions. And then there was sort of a back and forth where we, they would tell us, you know, the things they liked and what they wanted to see more of. And then the kids would adapt the designs accordingly. Then we started doing the tile mosaics. So all the work on the bench and trash can are glazed tiles. So just regular white subway tiles that we paint basically with ceramic glaze, fire, and the cabinets were just painted with this regular house paint. And then we ended up, after firing the tiles, we adhered them to the bench and trash can, and then we would go out to the sites to paint the cabinets on site. And that's what we did. So this is kind of a window into the first few days. You know, the kids just came in and worked on their designs. Everybody submitted designs, and then as the town started to narrow things down, the kids were sort of collectively working on designs. But, you know, every day we'd come in and we would have a whole synopsis of the work ahead of us, and the students would just work on the artwork. Here's some of the mock-ups, a lot of sort of templates of the items that we decorated, I guess I'll say. So, you know, we'd send these off to the town and then they'd send us back with notes. These were the ones that were chosen. So the bench and trash can were a sort of like a landscape, actually mostly spearheaded by Mia Ramirez, who's here tonight. Hey, Mia. That was kind of her idea that got taken forward. And then the traffic signal cabinets, we had a couple landscapes with animal, a rabbit, and then the other traffic signal cabinets were bee themed. There's like a town branding thing, Bee Sahuarita, that is happening right now. So they wanted to push the idea and bring it into the community in a visible way. So there was like a bee themed one, landscape one, and then the bench and trash can was like cacti theme. One of the nice things about this program is it really teaches the kids to know their audience. And because these works are funded for and facilitated by the government, they have to be agreeable and appeal to everybody. So they have to be very pleasant and generally agreeable. I know I said that. So we would go out. So we would start early, set up our tables and our tents, and we would just paint. So, you know, we start out blocking it in, and then we would go and just block it in further with the objects and then go on in with the details and texture and stuff like that. So here are just some examples of the work we were doing out there. And it's very hot during June also. So these kids are working under brutal conditions. So it's no joke. It's actually pretty hard work, and it gets tougher the longer you're out there. But Gatorade was a good idea. Here's the other one. So this one was a little more accessible. The other one, the first one is right there by those orchards, and there's like nowhere to park. So John would drive us all out in the van and just like drop us off, and then he would have to, you know, leave, and we would just kind of be stuck there. This one we could kind of come and go. We could park nearby and just walk. But yeah, so the kids just did the murals and we helped. So for the cabinets, you know, we're painting murals, and it's like a few days of just blitzing them, right? Because you're just out there, it's hot, and you're doing the work really quickly. The ceramic aspect of this year's program was a little bit more slow work, taking place inside the classroom. So they would start by literally just mapping out the areas that they had to tile, cutting tiles with the bandsaw to fit onto the objects, and then we would lay them out. First, we would draw on the tile with like any type of marker. It just rubs right off, and then they would glaze the tiles with ceramic glaze, and then we would fire them, pull them back out, look at them. Sometimes we would reglaze them, pop them back in. So it was a long process. This took like the whole 3 weeks. We were doing this all along the way. So here's more of the work. So once the tiles were all prepared and ready to go, we had to adhere the tiles to the concrete. So just a series of laying mortar, tile, and then grout. And that's what we did. So here's the finished mural out on Sahuarita Road in Old Nogales with the purple sky and the landscapes there and the jackrabbit. You probably have seen it. I mean, it's right there on the corner. This is the one over the other way on the west end, with the light blues and different paneling. Like each side was a different color, with just some various bee designs. A lot of kids, different kids got to incorporate their designs into this one. And then there is the bench and trash can on Pima Mine, which joins, I think, like 35 other ones around town. There's like a big amount of these that you would see around town that, you know, some of them were done by me and my students, others were done before my time, stretching back to the 90s. So there's a lot of history with these benches and trash cans.
It's cool.
And here's the crew. So only one made it tonight. Thanks, Mia. And Miss Rutherford had obligations at the high school, so she wasn't able to make it tonight. But here's us just on that last day. And then here's us again. And then here we are again with our work. So thank you, SUSD, for partnering with PAG and the town of Sahuarita. Something that is really special about this program is that it all kind of hangs on this intergovernmental agreement. And nothing's sort of guaranteed year to year. And it's people like John Garcia who take advantage of this funding that's available, organizes all of these different government entities together and creates these things. So it's like not ever really a guarantee. You know, John has to make new proposals every year, crunch a lot of numbers, and it's a lot of work to take advantage of these types of programs. The folks from PAG that came down last year, they told us that Sahuarita uses the most funding from this, I don't know what it is. It's like a grant. Yeah, so Sahuarita uses more funding from this grant than any other municipality in all of Arizona. So we're really taking advantage of our resources here and really just working together as a tight-knit community. It's a really, really cool, special thing, and very unique. So the students that were involved, Haley Bryson, Remini Ely, Alexa Harvey, Ani Mary Martinez, Draven Martinez, and Mia Ramirez. Mia is here tonight. And then Miss Rutherford and I were the teaching artists. And then the town, we have plenty of people from the town and SUSD staff help along the way as well. So it's a real village type of situation. So anyways,
Thank you, Mr. Poor.
yeah.
Thank you for all that you've done to contribute to the growth of this program. It really is an example of the Sahuarita team spirit that defines us. We certainly will miss you, but wish you well. And we hope, John, that the momentum of this program will continue. Like a lot of things, the work we do is bigger than any of us, and we need to keep that momentum going. We do have, I believe Mr. Bruno has certificates for all of the students. And since Mia's here, we'd like to ask her to come down. Maybe we could take a picture. And we'll address any questions as well. But thank you very much for continuing to showcase the power of collaboration. We're grateful.
Yeah, it's all signed. The bench is signed with a glazed tile on the back. That's what those three are. We thank all the government entities. We signed it, Ms. Rutherford and I, and then all the kids signed. And then on the backs of the traffic signal cabinets, those were like the very hastily dedications that we made on the final day when we were out there in the heat. So we weren't like super satisfied with them, but they were what they were in that time. So
There you go.
Mia's here.
Yeah, that's it. Amber's going to take a picture, so smile, Mr. Bruno.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. That's right. Smile. There you go. I love it. Congratulations. And again, thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful year.
Thank you for representing. Thank you for representing the students. Glad you did not fall.
Best wishes.
Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda is recognition of students. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Reese, members of the board, I assume, because we have so many amazing, distinguished students, I assume you're talking about specifically the NJROTC Outstanding Unit Award. And as always, we go from one amazing, awesome recognition and group of young people to another. Allow me, if you would, just for a second, this program, I believe, the ROTC program, got its start in the Sahuarita Unified School District shortly before I came on board. I believe Mr. Bruno was behind this dais when it came into effect, which was probably around 2002 or 3. Correct, yeah. So, and I remember coming here and it was a program that was young, that was kind of working to create momentum and establish itself. And over the years, it's been really an honor and just a point of tremendous professional and personal pride to see this program and how it has become really a pillar of excellence and an example of the culture and values that represent this district. And I say that in many ways, which you'll probably hear about, but one of the things I love to do is talk about our students because they're amazing. If you're talking about program excellence with these young people, whether you're talking about academics or you're talking about service, drill, physical fitness, raiders, orienteering, armed drill, unarmed drill, they strive and achieve excellence in so many ways, and it's because they set high goals and they work hard and they work together. You know, this year, as a matter of fact, I believe we have 2 students, one from Walden, one graduate of Sahuarita, that just enrolled in the United States Service Academies. I think we have a freshman at Air Force Academy and a freshman at Naval Academy Preps, if my facts are correct. And those schools are tremendously selective, among the most selective in the country. And to me, it's what they represent, not just academic excellence, but also excellence of character and fitness and commitment to serving your community and your country. So super proud of these young people. Last year, the good commander, Commander Brad Roberson and Master Sergeant Jeff King, our naval science instructors, informed me that we were moving to Area 20. And now the Navy has these units divided up all over the country. Check me on this, Commander. We were in area number 11 for many years, and we moved to 20. So it was our first year, and this is like Arizona, I think New Mexico, maybe Utah, maybe Colorado. I don't know about Nevada, pieces of Texas maybe. It's like 5 states. And they're evaluated based on all kinds of indicators of these different programs and accomplishments. And we were named, in our first year in this unit, by the way, we were named the Distinguished Unit of the Year. How awesome is that? And I think it speaks to what happens when good people with common purpose, willingness to invest of their resources, their time, their energy, and their work ethic to achieve great things will happen if you're willing to do the work. So thank you, Commander. Thank you, Master Sergeant. Thank you to all of our amazing students. I believe, well, first of all, I wanted to turn it over to whomever the Master Sergeant and the Commander have. Of course, they have a cadet that's going to tell us more. And I believe we have an honor. We have a certificate we'd like to present. And I also understand that you bring a special gift as well.
Good evening, Dr. Valenzuela and SUSD School Board members. I am Cadet Lieutenant Carson Derry, the Battalion Administrative Officer, and I am pleased tonight to provide you an update on this year's enrollment numbers for the Sahuarita NJ ROTC unit. We have a total of 183 cadets enrolled for the 2024-2025 school year. There are 108 returning students and 75 new students. 106 students attend Sahuarita High School. 43 students attend Walden Grove High School, and 34 students attend Sahuarita Middle School. Sahuarita NJ ROTC has been named the Area 20 Most Outstanding Unit for the 2023-2024 school year. This is the first time that the unit has received this distinction and places them among the top 3% of all 600 NJ ROTC units nationwide. We invite you to come down and participate in the awarding of the Distinguished Unit Ribbon and Most Outstanding Unit Certificate to the Sahuarita NJ ROTC.
Denise, I think you should put the ribbon on the flag. Yeah, but I know a little personal connection as well. Yeah. And I would just like to join along with the members of our board in congratulating you, young cadets, Master Sergeant Commander, community, for our shared commitment to helping mold these young men and women to truly be the best they can be and to set the pace for excellence. In recognition, I'll give it to Mrs. Reese to pass along here to our cadets just a certificate of appreciation for the example of excellence and the positive role models that you are for all of our student body across our Sahuarita community. We congratulate you. Is that good enough for pictures, or do you need more, Amber? We're good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's kind of hard to do. Again, congratulations.
All right, next on the agenda this evening is call to the public, and I'm gonna find the stuff. I'm doing 2 jobs tonight. All right, consideration and discussion of comments and concerns from the public. Those wishing to address the governing board may do so at this time or at the board's discretion at the time the item appears on the agenda. All speakers are requested to hold their comments to 2 minutes or less. 20 minutes will be allowed for both online and in-person comments. In accordance with the Arizona Open Meeting Law, board members may not respond, comment, or ask questions of speakers regarding issues not on the agenda. Any comments not read during this agenda item will still be entered into the public record. We do have one speaker this evening, and I apologize ahead of time. I am going to butcher your last name because I cannot make it out, but oh, thank you. Jill Fabian from Security First Counseling, or Serenity First Counseling. My apologies.
Hello, Dr. Valenzuela, Mr. Bonner, and the Sahuarita board. We're so happy to be here. Again, it's been a while. Jill Fabian, Serenity First Counseling and Serenity First Prevention and Support Coalition. We are in our 3rd year of the Governor's Grant of Youth, Faith, and Families. This is our 2nd go-around. We are planning to apply again in April or May for another 3 years that would start July 1st of 2025. We hope we will have your support with a letter of support when that time comes. This evening, we came with some of our youth from our youth coalition. We're so happy that they're here with us. And real quickly, we do have Strengthening Families starting on August 28th, and we work with families. All of the curriculums and all of the programs we provide are absolutely free to the community. We serve them dinner. It's going to be on Wednesday evenings for 10 weeks, and the families learn about communication skills, about bonding, about strengthening their family togetherness, and it's a fun evening. Please make sure you spread the word. Of course, I am very proud of my daughter, Melanie Fabian, a Sahuarita Unified School District student from the age of Link all the way through Walden Grove, successfully going into her junior year. I'm going to let her take it from here.
Okay, hi, District Admin and members of the board. Thank you so much for having us. I just wanted to promote our next Youth Coalition event, which is our next meeting, which is tomorrow night from 5:30 to 7:30 at our office on 75 West Calle de Las Tiendas. We do have a big sign saying Serenity First Counseling, so you can't miss it. But yeah, if you don't know what our Support and Prevention Coalition does, basically we have a curriculum called Too Good for Drugs that allows our youth to learn about the effects of drugs and alcohol on the young brain and our bodies, and the mess that you can get into. But also we talk about life skills and goals. Just at our last meeting last month, our youth did goal setting and how to get through a situation and the obstacles that may occur in day-to-day life and how they would get through them in that situation. So yeah, I was in the Youth Coalition all throughout high school, and now I have been hired as a peer support. So when I'm home from college or on a weekend, I am very involved in the community now. So yeah, thank you for being my educators. And now we have some of our youth and our Youth Coalition who would like to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Corbin Hamilton. I attend Corona Foothills Middle School, and I think that the coalition is really great for you because it teaches you like how to set your goals and really how to take the next step into high school.
Hi, I'm Ben Katsonis, and I am the youngest member of the Youth Coalition.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda this evening is number 8, new business, public online auction items. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. You do have a list of items that we've deemed exhausted their useful life, but have residual value or may have residual value. And so I'd like to request your authorization so that we may put them up for public auction.
We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion? It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda this evening is item 9, the ASBA draft political agenda. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. I would merely frame the topic and ask you to take it from there. As the board is very well aware, the board is one of virtually every public school district governing board that's a member of the Arizona School Boards Association. And through the operation of that organization, they have a process of identifying topics of priority in terms of the public education mission. You may remember in the spring, you had an agenda item where you identified some of those goals and objectives. So this goes forward then to a delegate assembly where a draft list of agenda items has been prepared. I would just share from my observation, it can kind of be summarized into things that probably are somewhat familiar to you: adequate funding, the importance of local control and local governing boards, improving opportunities and outcomes for students, transparency, accountability, and of course, as mentioned earlier, school safety. So that's the general summary of some of the highlights. The history, my recollection of this board is that generally the action that you've done is you've approved the direction of your designated delegate to act in accordance with those agenda items and to vote and to advocate based on that individual's best judgment about what's in the best interest of the board and especially of this community. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Reese, and members of the board.
Thank you very much. So just to refresh everyone's memories, when we looked at these items, the board elected to put me forward as the name of our official delegate, and then Mr. Rodriguez is the alternate. So I can entertain a motion if we want to move forward that way, or if there's any specific items within the agenda that either of the other two board members have specific concerns on, we can look at those too.
Acting Madam President, I make a motion that we continue on the path and follow the direction given previously for you to be the delegate with Mr. Ruiz, the secondary or alternate, and move forward, allowing you to vote your conscience during that event.
We have a recommendation, or excuse me, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
In light that Raul isn't here, I definitely second it.
He's gonna regret missing this one. So, all right, we have a, it's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda this evening, oh, wow, we're all the way to consent. So we're at the consent agenda, number 11. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, ma'am. At this time, I would recommend approval of the consent agenda as presented in its entirety.
Okay. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? The only thing that I would like to say is just again thank those people who are listed on under the gifts and donations. It just makes it so much easier for especially some of our specialized groups to do what they need to do. So thank you very much. It's truly appreciated. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So is there any board member that knows of any possible future agenda considerations that they would like to see on a future agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. We'll establish the next board meeting on August 28th here in this building, in this pod. There is no executive session this evening, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
It's a good meeting. Very good way to start the year.